Hey guys, thanks for dropping by the channel today. I truly appreciate it. We're counting up those days, 541 consecutive days, and we're hoping against hope that lockdowns and coronavirus and all that kind of stuff isn't going to stop these daily drops. And today what we're coming with is a Nike Kyrie 6, and it's called the Neon Graffiti, and there's a few things about this shoe that's important for us to talk about, and that's why we're doing this video today. Now, I've talked about a lot of Kyrie shoes, but I always talk about the Kyrie 5 Iket. This one right here is my all-time favorite shoe, and it was one of the first shoes I reviewed for this channel back in December 2018. Loved that shoe. Always felt like the 6s were a little bit of a step down from the 5s. The 5s were classic, 6s were a bit of a sort of echo of the 5s rather than the shoe in their own right. And then we've got this shoe today about this Neon Graffiti, and it's tied in with the Lebron graffiti line as well. So there's an awful lot going on in terms of this shoe, a lot to talk about the line and about the narrative of the shoe, but also those important points and the details on the shoe that you want to know about, because that's why you're watching this video. So today we'll be doing a two-part video talking about the shoe and its narrative, and then also looking at the details in the upcoming release of the Nike Kyrie 6 Neon Graffiti. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mainichi Absuru no Den, Mainichi Mite Kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today we're looking at that Nike Kyrie 6 Neon Graffiti. And I think I said in the title of this video, I think I made a sort of rhetorical question, if you like, where it said the Nike Kyrie 6 Neon Graffiti in the same week as the Lebron 17 Graffiti? Question sort of thing, and it's a bit strange to me that the two shoes would be dropping around about the same time. Now, when I ask a question or pose a comment or something like that in the comments of the video, I always try and answer it or talk about it early, because I'm not going to hold you guys on and fish for view time. So, and I'll do that right now and talk about that. Those two shoes. So the Graffiti 17s, you should be able to see behind me here. And there's, you know what I could do? I could do the thumbnail for it, because there's an interesting thumbnail that I made for this 2 days ago, which had the Graffiti 17s. And then the super rare and super unknown Graffiti 8, and then the Fruity Pebble 4s was my kind of mashup for that video. But the Graffiti 17s, the LeBron Graffiti 17s are dropping real soon, and then here we have a shoe from Kyrie Irving dropping round about the same time, also called Graffiti. And I'm always a bit suspicious when you see two sneakers named very similarly, and you're thinking, which ones came first? Did these two design teams have absolutely no connection to each other, and they just happened to come out with a graffiti sneaker at the same time? Or were the LeBron guys saying they're going to do a graffiti sneaker, and the Kyrie guys are like, well, let's ride that wave, let's fly on those coattails there a little bit. I don't know which, but what is kind of interesting in a way though is if you look at those 17s and then flip out to today's sneaker, they're totally not at all the same as far as construction, design, branding, anything like that. Just because it's got graffiti in the title doesn't mean that it's actually got any echo of those LeBron 17s, or indeed those LeBron 8 graffitis, or the LeBron 4 graffitis, which we also talked about 2 days ago. But it's interesting to me. I don't have an answer as to how they chose to design a sneaker that has the same name as a massive sneaker that's coming on a different line. I would put my money on there being some kind of overlap and some kind of talk between the two brands. I don't think it happens just by chance in that way. But like I said, totally different sneaker, very different from the LeBron 17s. I want to look back though to another another Kyrie 6, which was the Concepts line. Now we talked about the Ikets, which were the Kyrie 5s, and the tie-up with Concepts, and then you have this Concept 6. Now it was two pairs of shoes, and you can see behind me here both of them, one in salmon pink and the other in a white, black and gold colorway. The white, black and gold colorway was the grade school one, and then the salmon pinks was the full-size run. And then if we come forward to today, here's our Graffiti Neon Graffitis for the men's size run. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip you out and have a look at the grade school ones, and what you'll see when I do this is that the grade school one comes up, and it's very similar to the full-size run. You can see they're very similar shoes. We talked about that recently when we talked about the Air Max 97, Travis Scott's what was it called, Cactus Trails, and how actually I thought the grade school was cooler than the full-size run. And then here we are, we've got another one, the Kyrie 6 is coming out with that, different sizes for the full-size men's run, and then a very similar shoe in that grade school. So previously when you had those Concept guys size for the Kyrie 6 is totally different between grade school and full-size run, but then today what we're looking at is a very, very similar shoe. And we'll be staying with the men's one. I won't be looking back to this grade school one again to talk about that. We'll be stay with the men's one and look at the details on there and the important elements of it. Now, overall, large important element as far as narrative and story goes is lots of different Nike branding on this shoe from sort of different generations, maybe not generations, different spheres, different worlds. I'm not sure how to put that, but let's have a look at some of those. There's actually three in particular that I want to have a look at. So we'll start on the medial side where we've got that pinwheel. I think that's a good place to start. And that pinwheel sort of swoosh branding, I think there's about 8 of them in the wheel and they're all in the same color. And they're laid on top of that tumbled leather, really soft, beautiful tumble leather on the top half of this shoe, and it's kind of because the whole upper of the shoe is white with hits of color on it, then that tumbled leather and then the rest of the shoe sort of blends in really nicely together. But when you zoom in, as hopefully I've done here, you can see that tumbled leather. So on the medial side you've got that pinwheel with the swooshes on there to represent one bit of branding. And then if we continue across the top of the sneaker, now we're going to get to that strap, and I'll start on that strap just with the branding, but we'll come back to talk about a couple of the color details on there in a minute. But the branding in there is more associated with the clothing line of Nike rather than the shoes line, and you've got that kind of oblong or rounded rectangle on there with the Nike in the middle. And then if we keep coming around and across the strap, we get to the signature literally of this shoe where you've got that Nike branding and oversized lettering right up on the ankle there, massive piece of branding in that graffiti line. So that's where your neon graffiti comes in. But then as we go down from that, we come to the swoosh on the lateral side, and it's a very sort of bold swoosh. I think I'm right in saying it's a sort of lightning blue swoosh with a yellow shadow, and it's kind of cool because it's not a border. It doesn't run the length of the swoosh all the way around the thing. It's actually just a sort of shadow as if they're shining light on it or something like that, and that's a pretty cool feature as far as I'm concerned. A nice touch on that lateral side, and again you've got that tumbled leather on there to sort of complement the materials, complement the shoe and the colorway. So that's our 3 sort of points of branding, and that's the narrative of this shoe is the graffiti, but also those 3 different branding sort of styles that come in from the medial, the strap across the middle, and then the lateral side. But if we go back to that strap, there were 2 things that I wanted to talk about in terms of color. One is that if you go all the way across to the medial side again, I'm pretty sure it's the medial side, which I'm a bit about that because I would have thought it would have made more sense to put it on the lateral side. But if you go right across to the medial side, you'll see that there's a big splash of pink on there, and I think I'm right in saying that that's the place where you see the VI for BI, that way around, for the 6. It represents the Kyrie 6 on these guys. So that's the 2 main other sort of details on that strap, is the VI for 6, but then also that splash of pink on there. And it's a very, like it says in the title, a neon graffiti shoe, and that complements the rest of the colors on the upper way, especially with that swoosh on the side there. Another few things to look at though is that this holds on to its identity because it's a Kyrie 6, and the same as the Kyrie 5s, they have a very big theme of Egypt, and there are some specific features on Kyrie 6s that are on all of them that carry that Egypt theme all the way through. Place number 1 is on the back, where you can see that all-seeing eye and that very 3D effect jumping off the back of the heels there, and there's nothing in that that's about graffiti, neon graffiti, branding or anything like that. They've just gone with the standard sort of all-seeing eye on the back of these guys. And then if we flip them upside down and have a look at the outsole, it's the same on there as well. You can see this time though, which I thought was kind of, I don't know if it's rare but unusual, is that the all-seeing eye actually is the same colorway as the rest of the outsole, or the majority of the outsole, except for that kind of jagged edge which is in that kind of lightning blue again, if you like, on there. So instead of the all-seeing eye having the sort of main focal point of the outsole, you've got the other half of the outsole getting more attention this time than other times with other shoes. So as a whole, you know, we'll go back up to that upper, take a look at the whole shoe and the whole colorway. You can see a very white base on there. That tumbled leather gives you a bit more sort of texture in the upper half of the shoe, but blends well with the front half of the shoe, and it does have that full white effect. And then that adds, that's like a canvas on which you can have those neon graffiti details that really pop off of this shoe. All in all, pretty nice looking shoe, but again, I'm still always left a little bit wanting more from the Kyrie 6s just because I love the Kyrie 5 so much. So I'm sure this shoe will get its sort of, you know, time in the light, if you like. I'm betting that the LeBron 17 graffiti hype will create a sort of what do they call it, slipstream that this shoe can then follow in, because it's also graffiti. So when people type Nike Graffiti, you know, that up come the LeBron 17s, but up come these Kyrie 6s as well. So I'm guessing that this shoe's going to do okay for itself, especially given that the name is tied to one of the biggest shoes of the season right now. And that's enough for me today. That's my video. It's strangely early. It's before 11 p.m. and this video goes out at 7 p.m. tomorrow. We're on Monday now. This is Tuesday's video. So there we are, day 541 consecutive days, managing to keep these daily drops going. Hard work, kind of transitioning back into actual work. So that's why it's a bit of a challenge, but I'm glad to keep the daily drops going. For now, though, it's time for me to sign off and thank you guys for checking out my content. But you know what? I do truly appreciate you guys checking in every single day. And as I do at the end of all of my videos, I'll say that I do this every single day. And that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.